All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation. Hey, hold the parade plans, hold the 7th Avenue celebration because the New York Knicks have more basketball to play. Smoked, slaughtered, killed tonight in Boston, 127-102 in Game 5. Elimination night, and it was the world champs who came to play and played like a desperate team. And look, man, you know, against a team like this, you can't just show up. You gotta kill. You gotta kill because these guys will not go quietly into the night. And that's what the Boston Celtics did, man. The Knicks get outscored by 30 points from 3. Luke Kornet was out there looking like Hakeem Olajuwon. It's Bill Russell. And, you know, that's pretty much all she wrote, man. I thought this was a tale of two halves in which the Knicks completely folded in the second half to the Boston Celtics. And it just seemed like this was a mental defeat, Al. It just seemed like they were trying to play into the physicality with the Celtics, the crowd, and they completely folded, man. What did you think here, bro?
Like I said before in pregame, right? They had to come out ready to compete with the Celtics. You cannot take this team lightly. We've seen too many times in sports where you lose your star player and the team just rallies because they want to show that they can compete without them and that they want to do it for a greater purpose. Now let's also look at what the Celtics are going through this season. As Bobby talked about on the pregame show that we did yesterday, right? He talked about this team may not be together, right? So that's definitely playing in their minds. You now lost Jason Tatum. They have some big changes to think this offseason, and this could have been their last game if they got knocked off the floor. And so there's bigger purpose than only playing for Tatum. They're also trying to play for the fact that this could be their last time together as a team, all right? And so I think what they're also trying to show, and keep in mind there's new ownership. They want to show that, hey, we should try to keep us together. And so that's why they came up with that energy tonight. Now for the Knicks, they were just a sweep at the wheel, man. And, you know, Bobby, who is a credentialed reporter, he did say they were celebrating a little too hard after their Game 4 win. So, not this kind of plays to that, like they're excited, but not in that Kobe mindset where the job's not finished. And that's what they needed to do tonight. They needed to execute, but defensively, I thought they were lost all the way in the third quarter. In the third quarter, you see the Celtics outscore them 32-17.
Hang on. Let's just make sure the audio is good. Save the audio. We have a little echo here in the audio. Mic check. Hang on. Let's Central. Turn the music down. All right, we're gonna turn the music down. And get back to it. CB the franchise here, Altra Charles, JD Sports Talk, and a surprise guest surprised us at the half, man. You know, everything was spoken. We came through, Bleacher Report set up, Slate was rocking.
And I brought in the bad luck.
And
because it's the worst second half I've seen in 3 years, man. I just brought in all the bad luck. It went downhill for my entry.
Listen, the rhyme animal Chuck D is here. How do you feel, man? How do you feel about this one?
They just forgot how to play basketball in the second half. I mean, the team knows how to survive better than any team in the NBA. They don't know how to kill off a team yet. We haven't seen it. Maybe last year with Philly. Yeah, but, you know, you don't win a playoff game by thinking ahead. The fans, the team, everything was thinking, you know, I mean, everybody got 1 foot in Indiana. 1 foot in Indiana. I'm like, yo, man, are you understanding that this is the world champions?
Right.
And they lost. You know, a lot of times the criticism, you would know this, Alex, up in Boston, that there's a lot of criticism sometimes for the way that JT sometimes ISOs the ball outside the perimeter and everybody just watches him. I knew that ball was going to move around. I was surprised it was going to take to the second half. I mean, it was a myriad of errors, big stage. The stage only gets bigger. And whatever happened to Mikal Bridges, 12 to 15, skate across the mid? What happened tonight? And here's another thing. Because they're new at kind of playing with each other, somebody has to tell Mikal Bridges, don't throw a fancy pass to Mitch. Because it's basically like they don't know each other like that. So somebody has to give him the 4-1-1 on that. Don't pass to Mitchie fancy. And I think once they get that going, I brought the bad luck in, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We got to get some of this ambient sound down. We got to get some of this down. Okay, there we go.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt looking at Dante and Randall anyway.
Yeah, as they're playing right now, and you hit the nail on the head in terms of this thing just being just an up and down with this team, and that's why I gave a lot of pause. And shout out to the Knicks chick and all the fans are jubilant, and we're going to the finals. We got all this possibility. Not if you don't kill your dinner. You cannot have these ups and downs and ups and downs. Every single game of this series, the Knicks have been down by 20. When are you going to have a full 48 minutes of solid basketball? If you don't do that, you're not winning any championships. It don't matter, even if you get past the Celtics. The Knicks have to start cleaning it up and doing it now. This is why I'm not happy about tonight. Everybody that left here, we had a great watch party here, and everybody said, don't worry, CP, we'll get him on Friday, we'll get him on Friday. We did that. We said that in the Pistons series. We can't keep going to that. Every game in this series, this team has found a way to be down by 20 points. You're looking at a prolific three-point team. You cannot continue to play with your food. And, JD, I'm sorry, man. I'm looking at the big two here and how they set the tone. Karl-Anthony Towns with the foul trouble in the defense. Jalen Brunson ultimately with the foul trouble and lack of ball movement in the third quarter. They did not lead this team to a victory tonight. Your thoughts?
Jalen Brunson minus 18, Cat minus 20. They did not show up tonight. That's the bottom line. Karl-Anthony Towns had a very frustrating game. He had an awful game. Might have had his worst. Awful. Might have had his worst game in the playoffs. Considering the moment tonight and that we needed him to be dominant, especially in the paint. And then Jalen Brunson, the captain, the leader. I think he iced out the offense tonight.
Third quarter.
I think he
iced out. We went to 2-minute offense in the third quarter.
I think he iced out the offense. I think the thinking of I'm going to bring this home. And we talked about how last game he was precise in picking his spots, understanding the moment, understanding the rhythm and the flow of the game, when he can go off and take over, and when he can be more of a floor general, floor connector. He wasn't that tonight. And picking up all those fouls in the third was frustrating. And, it's one of those things where it's like, they have earned some grace because of, we're here. They're up in the series. They're going home. But it's like what you said. It's bigger than that. It's a mindset thing. It's a mentality thing. And when you talk about championship, remember we talked last game. In this whole series, I've only seen them in the second half of last game where I could tell you without a shadow of a doubt this is championship caliber basketball. It's been the only moment in this whole series was the second half of Game 4. Just because they won those first two games, in the way that it happened, I can't say that was championship caliber basketball. Very disappointing. Very disappointing.
It's disappointing, man.
Especially after the human element. You would think that I'm actually, last night to me was actually a tougher game than tonight for the Knicks, last night for the Pacers, because they're up first to close out.
Right.
And these guys are on social media. Everybody's watching each other. So everybody's watching each other. Last night, the Knicks were watching that Indiana game. And Indiana went. They didn't play with their food. And you would think from a natural human element, you're coming in tonight and you're a little bit more motivated because you know Indiana closed it out last night. They didn't play with their food. And to go out tonight with no Jason Tatum, understanding that
Bleeding.
you had
Boston
an
bleeding.
advantage. And what's crazy about tonight, everything went backwards. They actually had a good first quarter.
Yeah,
They
right,
weathered the
right.
storm.
Right. And Tibbs said we won a good first 5 minutes. They had a great first 5 minutes, Al.
They had a great for the first half. I was like, oh wow, we're in this.
Celtics had 7 threes in the first quarter.
This is
and they were up.
crazy. And I was like, oh, I actually had confidence going to the second half. Like, oh, we could pull this through. But then you just start to see everything unfold in the third quarter. It was a third quarter of a doom that just reared its ugly head. Like I said, 32-17. And I think part of the issue was that they came out with a spirited effort. And I'm talking about the Knicks in that first half. The second half, they let the emotions get to them too much.
Right out the gate.
Right out the gate, you had Brown and Hart.
Can I
And
I
right
add to
there,
that?
they took it personal.
Can I add to that? On
Yeah.
my way in, I'm listening to CK. We was up by 7. That's where it began. When I got to the door, it was tied. And it seemed like CK was explaining, like, yo, man, the Knicks had just fallen asleep. And there's a couple of plays in there that I was hearing the play-by-play. And then all of a sudden I got to the door. It's like, well, we tied. We was up by 7.
Yeah.
That's where it started, at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, and then you just start to see Hart and Brown get into that tussle. And they made it more about themselves than the actual team. And that's where you see even Jalen Brunson. Look, they're all boys. They all got each other's back. Brunson's the closer. You know he wants to take it home. And the lack of ball movement in that third quarter is what killed them.
Yeah.
You froze out. OG only had one
You
shot
froze
today.
out Mikal Bridges.
You
You
froze
can't
out-
freeze out Mikal Bridges, man. I was just singing his praises. I was
Dude.
on Fox 5 singing his praises. You can't freeze out Mikal, man.
You can't, and then it's like you get Cat back. He's not involved. OG is not even shooting threes. And it's like, what are we doing here? And I thought in the third quarter, when things started going sideways, the equalizer that Tibbs should have gone to, and this is where Tibbs should have, I'm putting Tibbs at fault for this, put Mitchell Robinson in, man.
I thought he waited too long to
Way
get
too
to
long.
get to Deuce and
Way
Mitch.
too long.
Waited too long to get to
Because you know what?
Brunson and Htown should have been out the third quarter halfway through.
Because here's the thing, KP started in that first half. Pritchard started in the second half. And Pritchard, even though his numbers may not be there, he was killing by his penetration tonight. And so then he was spraying it out to everybody like Derek White, Drew Holiday, and stuff like that. That's where Deuce should have came in. You have someone like Mitchell Robinson in, protect the paint. That's how you start to equalize what the Celtics are doing.
It was so much of a stagnant swamp, a swamp. I went to JD and Alex and told them I'd rather see Cam come in there and hoist up some crazy three-pointers at this point. I told him, I said, look, man, I mean.
Well, then CP has a heart attack. then CP's not here.
Yo, man, rather than that, what we saw, for real.
Yeah.
I don't, I mean, it happens, but it can't afford to happen going forward because the stage gets bigger, the obstacles get larger, and the games get tougher.
You know what this team has proven? There's a difference. They have clutch genes, they have clutch players. They don't have a killer instinct.
That's what I'm looking for before we, start the ticker tape parade. Before we say, oh, we can get to the finals, we need a killer instinct first. They don't have it, man. They don't have it. And I'm telling you guys right now, this is why I say the things that I say about Karl Anthony Towns. God love him. He's a nice guy.
Nice guy.
All right? He is not a smart player. We've been saying this from the longest. The second foul that he picked up, I talked about it. Reggie talked about it. And Reggie's been calling it a good game. Sometimes we hate when Reggie talks, but he talks a smart game. Reggie called him out. That's not a smart foul. 2 minutes later, what happens? He's got Derek White in a sleeper hold after he gets his shot blocked. You cannot do that as a star of your team, man. He's killing the flow, and he was completely taken out of that game after that third foul, man. Totally out the game.
Out of it. And, the thing is, too, is that he hasn't really had a great series against Boston. And, when you're looking for help, if we had his offensive production, we're going back to Game 4 against the Pistons, this is not even a conversation at this point, even tonight, if you get some of that. And I think the biggest thing that I was missing was, why aren't we getting mismatches to him in the post? Jalen Brown can't stop him. We don't have Tatum out there tonight, so tonight was actually the night to work the pick and pop.
Bro, but this is the killer instinct that he's talking about. You got Karl Anthony Towns out there. No one could guard the guy. And then it's maddening, bro.
And I think it's a combination of that and also because of his talent. I'm so confused. I don't understand why we continue to give Karl-Anthony Towns ISO looks at the three-point line versus
Makes no
guards.
sense.
Low post, low block.
Like, what are we really? What do we actually think are the multiple probability outcomes of such a possession? Karl-Anthony Towns against a Drew Holiday, who Drew Holiday actually wants him to drive because he's either going to reach and get the steal or he's going to get in front of him, beat him to the spot, make it more difficult. So there's not many outcomes that are going to draw success when isolation with Karl-Anthony Towns at the three-point line because he drives, but he has tunnel vision when he drives. And so that's one area. The other area is with the foul situation. You know, part of it is his lack of discipline, but I also think now he has a reputation with the refs.
Yeah, that
Where
fourth one was it.
The
Yeah.
over and under on him every game should be 1.5 on reputation fouls. That's not legitimate fouls, reputation fouls. And I think one of the reasons why is, for example, Draymond Green does something that because he puts pressure on the refs. Like, notice when he gets that first tech, he puts a lot of pressure on the refs, and they won't dare call the second tech on him. He puts a lot of pressure on the refs because of his reputation, but also his technique. Karl-Anthony Towns does something like this. He goes like this, puts his hands like this. And sometimes he doesn't foul, but doing this, you're actually baiting the refs.
He's not confident.
But
He's not confident.
But you bait the refs to actually call the foul because that's not technique.
Yeah, it means you did something wrong.
So what you do is sometimes the ref may not be at an angle.
That's like our kids when they looking like that. I didn't do it.
Right, you're like this.
Wait, what do you
You're
mean?
like this.
Right?
And because usually when you go like this, that's a reaction of, oh, oops, I think I fouled him.
Right.
But with Cat, sometimes he goes like this. He doesn't actually foul, but the refs, he baits the refs to call the foul, and those are called, to me, reputation fouls. It's like put pressure on the refs by actually playing technique, and you'll see he'll get called at least one foul less per game. But that technical part of his game, he hasn't mastered that. He hasn't understood that. And apparently nobody around him has been able to point that one thing out
It's
that
maddening.
could help him immensely.
It's maddening.
But it's also, in a rare case, Cap got rattled tonight in the third.
He did.
Yep.
He
First,
did.
first he got decked.
Yes,
and
he
I don't
did.
know if that made him mad enough to say, I'm going to go back at y'all no matter what, and that just didn't work. So they threw a physicality at him after he got decked and he got rattled, and that's the head of the snake.
Right.
To find your players, to find OG, to find Bridges, and this was one of those games where we didn't need the 30 points from Cap. We needed him to find the Cap. Look, there's nobody that can guard Bridges.
Right.
On that team. There's nobody could really guard Cat. And then you got OG. That's how we won. We won with that, and now here we go. And they're going to play harder. They're going to play more united.
Yeah.
The ball's going to move, but also they're going to play a different type of hunger in the defense that we probably wouldn't see with Tatum.
Yeah. So, on one side, look, they got punched in the mouth, and as you said, hopefully that wakes them up in Game 6. But it's like, again, the seesaw, man. It's if you want to be a championship team, even if you get past these guys, you've got to bring it consistently. And tonight, it just seemed like they got caught up in the mental mind games. Look, Hart got knocked by Kornet, got split open. I give him credit. He knocked down 2 threes after that. The crowd was going crazy. In the third quarter, it just seemed like it was the roommates' two-man game.
Yeah,
it was Brunson to Hart. Don't forget about Mikal Bridges, man.
Don't forget about Mikal.
Come on, man.
And I thought Hart had an excellent first half. Like he was knocking down the threes when he was wide open, attacking out transition, looking for his teammates. After that scuffle with Brown, he took it too personal. And look, he wears his heart on his sleeve. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he took himself out of the game. And then you saw that all in the second half, is that he was not as efficient, not as effective. He was then hesitant to shoot the three. I'm like, dude, why are we now hesitant? You have Luke Kornet, and he's like a mile away from you. Now you're pump faking and driving. It makes no sense, and then you get blocked at the rim. Like, just a very up and down game from Hart. And this is where we keep going back to that mental where you cannot let your opponent psych you out. You can't let Jaylen Brown, you can't let Luke Kornet, you can't let anybody take you out of your game. You got to
Yeah.
stay focused and accomplish the mission.
And now the game,
they just couldn't
is
do that.
about adjusting to the vacancies. There's a different rotation order now without Tatum, and so and let me tell you, Missoula's going. I mean, he loses tonight. That's the end of his job. So he's fighting for whatever breath he got left. Everybody was fighting for every little bit they got left, like you said in the beginning, Alex. This whole Boston franchise, could have got buried tonight.
Yeah, 100%. We are live here at Slate at the watch party, man. Hey, listen, man, we had a great crowd, great turnout. The Rhyme Animal Chuck D surprised us, man. That was a great gift for us. Great turnout. Salute to Bleacher Report for powering the machine here. We got a great production going. Eric L. Beach on the 1s and 2s. Shout out to Cedro, the Knicks chick. Ben Lyons are coming through. Caleb Silver. We had the whole KFTV squad and extended family here on a great night, win or lose. But, hey, it was a tough loss. And, look, we give credit where it's due. And I thought the Boston Celtics, they came out ferocious, as I expected them to, as they did champions do, right? And Derek White, man, that guy, I don't know if he gets enough credit for what he does out there, the type of player that he is.
He certainly gets enough credit. Okay, let's not forget last year where they were hyping him up to be an all-star last year. He gets credit, don't worry.
7 of 13.
He gets credit.
34 points for Derek White. This is a guy that had a 40-point game. I mean, absolutely unbelievable night for Derek White. 7 of 13 from the field. Jaylen Brown, 26, 5 of 8 from the field. I thought Peyton Pritchard did a good job. They brought him off the bench, starting Porzingis with Horford, plus 24 for Pritchard.
So
17 points and 5 of 14 from downtown. But it was a former Knick, fellas, that really, when you talk about momentum,
we understand what's
and
going
you talk
on,
about backbreakers,
we
it
can't
was
have any personal dilemmas.
the Unicornet, as we called him.
Oh, my God.
We used to call him the Unicornet, right? When
Yep.
Porzingis left, we was like, yo, we got this guy, Luke Kornet. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's out of there. And he went to Boston and became an absolute machine.
Yeah.
It's funny. Missoula's probably like, don't shoot threes. Don't do what you did down there.
Yeah, don't do what you do.
Don't do that.
We don't need you to do that.
Stay in the paint.
Stay in the paint. And he's dominating right now. Dominating.
I'm so aggravated. We got to watch KP, even though he's not even playing that much, and Kornet. You know how much that irritates me, especially being out in that city? And people got to talk about that?
Tough, man.
But
Tough.
Kornet, I mean, he had a lot of blocks tonight. What do you have, like 5? He had like 5 blocks tonight?
More than that.
More?
Yeah.
7.
7?
Yeah.
Bro, he had 7 block
Turner.
shots tonight.
Bill
Maybe it was
Russell,
5.5.
KG,
That's crazy.
Robert Parrish, all in
Man
one
almost
tonight.
had a triple-double on us.
Unbelievable.
With blocks.
With blocks. With
When,
blocks.
hey, you know what was crazy? When I see them, they talking that, that whole thing when they talk to the players between the quarters, and they pull Kornet to the side. I'm like, what world is this right now?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
gonna talk to Luke Kornet before we start the fourth.
It's, look, it was a great team effort by them when you give them a lot of credit. That Jaylen Brown play where he stripped Brunson, saved the ball.
Yep.
That's a type of effort that the Knicks have to expect. That's what the Knicks need to come with. You're dealing with the team on the brink of elimination. They're playing like it's their last day. And look, I did think the Knicks played hard. They just didn't play smart, and a lot of times they don't. And in this series, they haven't, fellas. This is why you find yourself down by 20, because it's those self-inflicted wounds that the Boston Celtics are phenomenal at taking advantage of. They will turn that into a wide-open three-pointer. Oh, second chance point. Here goes another three-point opportunity. They kill you on the possession game. Knicks lost the rebounding battle, and they lost the three-point battle by 30 tonight.
One concern I have moving forward now, I saw the style of play that the Boston Celtics played tonight. It's a lot like the Pacers play because they knew their identity before tonight. They're now, I believe, is 9-2 this season without Jason Tatum. And when I say they knew what their identity was without Jason Tatum tonight, they really stretched out the Knicks defense. They put a lot of pressure on the Knicks defense because there was more ball movement on their side. You know why? They have no choice.
Right.
They have no choice but to move the basketball.
Right.
That's the only way that their offense is going to operate now. Their only ISO player is Jaylen Brown. And in actuality, the Knicks prefer to defend against isocentric offenses because it allows for them to not put as much pressure on Cat. It allows for them to utilize OG Anunoby and Mikal against those ISO looks. But when the Knicks play offenses that move the ball, that go sideline to sideline, now you're forcing a Jalen Brunson, a Karl-Anthony Towns to rotate. Now you're forcing Karl-Anthony Towns to diagnose plays within the offense. And you saw how many times tonight confusion with rotations, confusion with the picks, late rotations.
Man.
Everybody's a step slow. Why? Because when the Knicks have to move around, they are actually worse than when they have to man up one-on-one in isolation defense. Brunson has been very good this series in ISO defense. He hasn't been so good when you're asking him to move, to diagnose, to rotate. That's when him and Cat are actually at their worst. To me, that's a concern because you saw what happened tonight, and now going into Game 6, that's not going to change because Tatum's not coming back. And for them to be effective, the Celtics are going to see that film, and they're going to say, there's nothing that we're going to change. There's nothing that we're going to change. We don't even have to make an adjustment. Let them make the adjustments to us, and we'll live with the results.
That's why they're 10-2. That's why they're 10-2. No, that's why they're 10-2 without him.
10-2. 10-2 without Tatum.
Yeah, that's
and look, and now that's why I think for the Knicks, the adjustment needs to be you play a lot more Mitch and you play a lot more McBride. You need to.
They ruined a big Mitch night tonight. Block Ness was dominating tonight,
He hit every free throw.
He hit every free throw. Damn me up on that.
Let's go.
He hit every free throw tonight, man.
They were trying to get him off the court, and I was like, yo, keep fouling him. Keep fouling him.
Mitchie.
Bro, he hit every single
free throw.
This is how you close out a game with him. He was locked in.
He was there.
Mitchell Robinson was locked in.
There.
He knew the assignment.
How many rebounds did he have at the half? Like 10, 12?
11.
11.
Ridiculous.
He had 6 offensive at half. He had 5 defensive.
My man was locked in
at halftime.
And the painstaking effect is that when he rebounded and kicked out, we didn't capitalize on it.
Does he need to go 1 for 6 again so we can win the game? Like, 'cause how do we lose a game where he's 100% from the free throw line?
Craziness.
Like to the point where Missoula's like, yo, this is not working,
Missoula's
guys.
probably like,
This hacker Mitch is not working. Like,
man,
we lose a game like that.
A good Mitch night, man. He was dominating. Again.
This is why he needs to play more. You cannot leave this man on the bench.
Third quarter, I'm waiting.
That's
like, when is Mitch going to get in the game?
Cat was like, once again, Cat's fouling, making mistakes, and it's like, yo, we need the guy who can protect the rim. Or if you're not going to take Cat out, put Mitch in. Play the double big lineup. You've had success with it. But in this matchup, because it's changed, you don't have Tatum. You have Pritchard now, who's more than willing to attack the paint. He moves a lot quicker. They are going to share the rock a lot more. It's got to be McBride, and it's got to be Mitchell Robinson. You need that tandem out there to just save the defense.
Well, one thing, though. When Mitch did come in, that the Celtics did a great job of and great adjustment by Missoula, the slip screens killed the Knicks on a couple of possessions there where Kornet got free, Pritchard got free. The slip screens were killing them a little bit when Mitch got back in the game.
But the thing is, like, this is where it goes to guys falling asleep at the wheel. It's like, all right, now we got 2 guys doubling, like Drew or White, and you're like, wait a minute. Someone's roaming.
You got to be on the string.
Like, that's not. You don't need to double White. You don't need to double Drew. But that's just like, as JD was pointing out, the lack of awareness. You're making guys now have to think twice as hard that they're more accustomed to, and saying, hey, there's going to be a guy rolling now, and it just makes it that much more simpler. But you know what? The Knicks aren't even ready for that because with Tatum out there, they're not really doing that much. So now that's why it's a shock to them.
Well, welcome to the playoffs, because now there's going to have to be super homework by Tibbs and the whole staff and the players on the adjustment to make against that. They're going to have to really seriously bunker down when it comes down to making that adjustment to this new look that we've seen. Because like JD said, they're not going to change. So at least hope they don't change, because if and I don't think that they have the type of staff, although I did see Sam Cassell all animated tonight.
Yes, he was, Rocket style. I still can't stand him, man.
Right, exactly. So I don't think they have it in them to actually put another wrinkle in. I think, like JG said, it's like they're going to keep coming to say, we better make that adjustment quick.
Every single time that the Knicks have gone away from full switches, they haven't been good. They haven't been good. Whenever drop coverage, Celtics have made them pay.
Yep.
When they do the hedge and recover,
Pay.
Celtics have made them pay. That's what led to a lot of the confusion between Cat and Brunson there in that third quarter, was because they weren't full switching. They were hedging to recover, and that's when the Celtics was getting them on the quick pass. And then when Mitch came in, the slip screens, the Knicks are gonna. And I get it. You know, Tibbs probably felt no Tatum. We don't need to go all out and switch all the way.
Yeah.
Let's show hard and recover. That did not work tonight. So they may have to just go with the same game plan and go switching everything and go the full switch and live with the results, because it did not work. It did not work tonight. And the Celtics are going to launch threes. You thought they launched threes tonight? They got nothing to lose at the Garden.
Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. And, hey, they were great for it tonight. Shout out to them. We're going to get to some calls. Hey, we got the full squad in the building, man. The Rhyme Animal, Chuck D, making a special guest appearance. JD Sports Talk. Alex Rotaro's coming down from Boston, man. We are here at Slate, and we'll be back here on Friday. But shout out to Bleacher Report for powering tonight's show, tonight's post-game show. That's how you see us live and in living color in 4K. Shout out to the Bleacher Report team for doing an outstanding job. We had a great pregame and having a great postgame, all things considered. So call us up in the KFTV Discord. We're going to get to some calls right now, and then we're going to go through some super chats. TM, go ahead. Send me that in the Slack. Let me know what you mean there in the Slack. But on the Discord, let's start with Zach in LA. Zach, how you feeling? Zach, are you there? Unmute your mic. Do we have Zach? All right, let's see. Okay, Zach's not there. King Matthews, go ahead and unmute your mic. Do we have King Matthews on the Discord? Are you there? All right, Zach and King Matthews. Looks like you guys are going to have Zach, I see you unmuting, but looks like you guys might have to jump out of the Discord and jump back in. Hang on 1 second here.
Julius looking like the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, man, what's your Julie's killing right now?
Oh, my God.
Julie's killing right now?
And pointing at the camera.
Oh,
Is
my
he pointing
goodness.
at us?
He might be. He might be.
He knows we're watching.
He is.
He knows we're watching from Slate.
He's looking like the Incredible Hulk out there, man. It's bad.
Do we have Jay? Jay on the Discord. Go ahead and unmute your mic. All right, we're trying to get the Discord going here. Arm, let me know if you're hearing people on the Discord. We're trying to get the Discord going. Is it? Yeah. Laptop is, hang on. No, I got to get in. That's why. Okay, King Matthews, go ahead. King Matthews, I'll mute your mic. Let me know, Arm, let me know. Yeah, King Matthews.
How y'all doing today?
Good, how you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm not feeling too good, man. But anyway, shout out to you, shout out to Alex, shout out to JD, shout out to Chuck D, #P in the chat, man.
Yes.
Yeah, crazy way to lose this game from Mitchell Robinson, man. 8 for 8 in the line. Hope we could do that in game 6.
Yo,
man,
8 for 8. Proud of it,
8
man.
for 8.
Great effort by Mitchie tonight. Great effort and a great game. You know, unfortunately, he was wasted, but he was once again great. He's having a great series for the Knicks.
6 for 6.
6 for
Oh,
6.
for sure, man.
My man's is
I
hype.
mean, for sure. If we're talking about the only positive in this game, you got to give it to Mitchell Robinson, man. I would say Josh Hart too, but like y'all said before, Jaylen Brown really got to his skin, man. And after that, it was just Brunson, Hart. No one else touched the ball. OG Anunoby was a little bit different. And y'all said about Cat,
A little bit.
he's just he's not just a low IQ player. He just has a brain fart. And that's really, he's a great player, all of that. But
Yeah.
when he has a brain fart, he just doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, but
Like,
my problem is, man, like, it happens a lot with Cat, you know? Like, that's who he is, man. And, you know, maybe it's on the coach to save him from himself, but, like, you're the highest paid player on the team, my guy. You know, like, we don't need the training
Exactly.
wheels for you. You got to come through and dominate, man. and play smart.
For sure. Isn't he getting paid like $60 million right now?
Bro,
Or is it
yes.
$70 million? I know it's a lot.
Bro, the
More than
third
Brunson.
foul on Pritchard, he had him on this in a $1 million dream in a sleeper hold. What are you
Bro, I thought he
doing,
was gonna pull a
man?
Draymond Green.
What are you
I thought he was gonna pull
doing?
a Draymond.
Cat, come on, man. We need you to be smarter.
The most frustrating, part is then you look at the box score, and sometimes that's what's frustrating is how
Yeah.
talented he is.
Yeah.
He plays only 29 minutes, goes 5 for 11, almost
Right.
50%, and on 5 for 11 he has 19 points and 8 rebounds.
Yeah, effortlessly.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Effortlessly.
and
then
we're
throws
still
it
like
all away.
frustrated about he could have given us like 10 more.
Yeah.
In a better fashion with more impact
Frustrating, man.
and more rhythm.
But you know what?
Yeah.
But look, man, Caps fouls in the third quarter, and you know I blame Tibbs for keeping him out there. But also Brunson, you got to be smarter. Like I was surprised at the foul number 3 when Drew he got caught with the elbow in the chin. How was that a foul on Brunson? I didn't understand that one.
I would say that the officiating was very suspect tonight. Not the
Yeah.
main reason to why they lost.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that. But even when Brown tripped on himself and Towns got that foul, I'm like,
Yeah.
Towns didn't do anything there. When Derek White hit Brunson in the chin, I'm like,
Yeah.
Brunson didn't do anything there.
Right.
So they were calling it very tight. The officiating was
Right.
very strange.
But that was 3 on Brunson.
Yeah.
But the one where he caught Jaylen Brown, he hooked Jaylen Brown and caught him on the elbow, that's a foul on you, bro.
Yes.
And then the other one on Derek White, like, you can't be that aggressive when
Yeah.
you got 4, man. That's what I mean by where Cat and Brunson, like, you didn't mentally keep your team in the game.
I'm even shocked at how Brunson was defending like Pritchard and Derek White, where they were shooting threes and he was closing out really tight. And I'm like, yo, you are like playing with fire right now. You could easily get your 5th, 6th foul right here and get
Yeah.
out of the game. Like, you can't close out like that. That's why you got the three shots last game.
Right.
You can't. They don't want people going underneath another player's foot. You got to be careful about doing that.
I never believe, I'm not a conspiracy believer, but you have to know, being in Boston, the champions, home turf, a closeout elimination game, you cannot even believe that the refs are going to be anywhere near your side.
Nope.
None.
Especially with the second professional extender in Tony Brothers.
That's right. Oh, my goodness. That's right. That is absolutely right.
Number one
man.
is Scott Foster.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
returned. He tried. He tried his hardest on game 4.
Yeah,
And they're
absolutely,
like, Scott
man.
Foster, you came back from injury. We're sending out Tony Brothers now.
Yes.
Bro, I'm gonna say one thing though. Yo, we're not gonna win games with OG and Mikal shooting 5 for 26.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No.
Not one. Like for all that we're saying about Mikal had 14 shot attempts, Brunson 17, Hart 15. Mikal had the 3rd highest shot attempts. He was 4 for 14, 1 of 3 from 3. Continues to struggle from 3 overall. And OG was 1 for 12 and 1 for 5 from 3.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like none of those two players
No.
sniffed 10 points, and Mikal was the highest plus minus at minus 25. So like they got to be better too.
For sure.
And that's the frustrating part about this team is, bro, we lost the game where Mitch goes 6 for 6 from the free throw line,
Yep.
and Josh Hart had 5 threes, and we lost by 25. Josh Hart had 5
My X
threes,
Factor
bro.
was X Factor tonight.
Yeah, X Factor was X Factor.
If I would have told you before the series,
he
like,
was.
Mitch is going to go 6 for 6 and Josh Hart is going to score 5 threes, you're like, there's no way the Celtics are going to win this series.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the thing is with this team, and we've seen it even against Detroit, and now we saw it in Game 4, is that for this team to win, you need Brunson to have like over 30, Cat to get over like 20, 25, and then you have Bridges and OG in the last game who had over 20 points as well. And look, this is a very top-heavy team that we're running here. So those guys have to produce while they're out there. We're not going to go to like 8, 9 and see Campaign get out there or even Landry Shaman and just put up points. And the guys that you got come off the bench, Deuce and Mitch. Deuce is your only other guy who can shoot, but Tibbs is going to rely on that starting 5 for the most part.
Yeah.
So those guys got to produce.
Absolutely, man. We still rolling. I got to move my car, so you come sit here. Let's get some more people on the Discord.
I'm going to move on out.
You running out?
I think I'm going to catch the
All right,
Iron Horse.
The Rhyme Animal, Chuck D, catching the Iron Horse.
I'll be out on the chat, y'all.
OG,
I'll be on the
appreciate you,
in
man.
The march, all right.
Appreciate
now.
you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, throw a hashtag
Chuck D.
PE in the chat for the Rhyme Animal, Chuck D, man. pulled up on us, surprised us, man.
CP's
Yeah,
like-
Al, sit here, Al.
CP's like, you know, I'm in the city. I got to move my car.
Yeah. Or the police will move it for you. All right? Especially where we at in Slate. At Slate, they don't play around, man. They do not play around.
That car's either going to be gone or it's going to catch a boot.
That's it. Exactly. One or the other. You got to pay. One or the other, you got to pay. All right, you good?
Yeah, I'm
Turn that third knob, that white knob, turn it all the way to the max. Third one. Yep. All the way right. All the way right. Okay. All right, Zach, go ahead and unmute your mic. Zach.
Yo, you can hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Yes,
Go ahead.
sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, so obviously we were all disappointed that we didn't close it out tonight. The one thing I have to say is when the point that I was disappointed is when Hartford called that fourth foul, we didn't bring the double big lineup in and try to dominate the paint. I thought that was a very confusing call at that point in time. I mean, that was an opportunity for us to really take control of the game, and I think Tibbs missed an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody was asleep at the wheel tonight. You know, you didn't have Tibbs. I didn't think Tibbs necessarily coached the greatest game either. I mean, we're talking about Mitch sitting out too long in the third quarter.
Too long in the third.
And then it's like you see not enough of the double big lineup. I mean, look, I know Cat got into some foul trouble, but you really got to take advantage of these opportunities, Tibbs. And I do agree with you, Zach, that, you know, just not even trying to exploit while Horford's out. You don't have a guy who's shooting threes, so now any big that you bring out there, you know they're going to be sticking down in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, look, they only had Kornet to go at that point. So you know you're going to have a double big, so you have two offensive rebounders. So even if you're playing small on the perimeter, you have the opportunity to, you know, offensive rebound, kick out, give us opportunity in the paint, and also give us opportunity on the perimeter. I thought that was a really interesting, or lack thereof, aggressive call on Tibbs.
Very strange, man. Very strange. Zach, and I appreciate your call, man. Appreciate you tapping in as always.
Yep, Knicks in 6, like I said, my guys.
Knicks in 6. All right.
I agree. I agree about the, I also thought the head coach didn't have a good night tonight. As you mentioned, the third quarter, thought he waited too long to make any substitutions. And that was very surprising because you have two defensive guys off the bench, and you would think that, you know, and two guys that had a good start to the game. Two guys that gave you energy. One guy that had 6 offensive rebounds in the first half.
Yep.
So it's like, what are we waiting for? Like, what are we actually waiting for? And we've gotten to this point, but, bro, that starting 5 is still like, listen, we may get to the NBA Finals and all that stuff. Who knows what's going to happen? But it's like, sometimes that starting 5, there's nights where I'm like, okay, but there's other nights where I'm just like, it ain't it, man. Like, we need to mix it up a little bit,
bro,
and go with our defensive lineup. And then also when we talk about the foul trouble, is not making the adjustment with the defensive scheme, because what happens when you're in foul trouble is if you're not completely switching, right, and now you have to recover, and on a team that shoots threes, that's where Brunson got caught.
Yep.
Because now he's late to recover already, and then now when he's closing out, he's stuck because he doesn't know, do I close out hard? Because then he could beat me off the dribble, or do I not close out hard to protect myself from the foul or from a drive foul? But then I'm not gonna close out hard, and therefore the player is gonna have an open shot. So you put your player in that stressful situation. And I just felt that he could have switched the scheme just to protect his players, because he obviously wasn't benching them. So now make the adjustment so that your players are more protected in foul trouble. So those are 2 areas where I thought Tibbs didn't have a great night. And the other one is the mindset, man. Like, that's on the captain to me, and that's always on your best player, and it's always on your head coach. That combination to me, when your team, like it was the opposite tonight. They had a good start. They weathered the storm. 7 threes in the first quarter by the Celtics, and you're still up after 1. I thought that was the best case scenario. But it went backwards now, and we still somehow don't have the killer instinct to close it out. And, yes, they could win Game 6, but as it goes on and on, it gets more difficult and it gets more challenging. And when we're talking about championship aspirations, they have to figure that out when they're up in a series or when they're up late in a game.
All right, JD, let's get back to some calls. Let's get to Pops the legend. He was in the building with his son. Pops, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Well, obviously, on the train ride home, I'm not feeling too great, and it's because of the lackluster effort that these clowns put on today wearing Knick uniforms. I'm very disappointed in them and the lack of ability to have any type of desire to just close out the series today.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure seeing you guys. It was a great time at the watch party, even though, you know, we lost, but let's see what we do in Game 6.
Absolutely. It was great seeing you, Pops. Great seeing Pops and his son out here. We had the venue rocking as always. Appreciate the call as always, too, Pops. We had the venue rocking. Pops was here with his son. It was a great time, man. But, you know, as Pops said, you see these guys, they put themselves in position, JD, to close it out. And in a position where they are more successful on the road. They're on the road in Boston, but, look, Boston came out with that energy. We knew they were going to play with that type of edge. And they just wasn't weather that type of emotional storm. There's a different type of emotional storm that you had to be able to weather, and they weren't capable of doing that. But to get back to your point, JD, on like the lineups, what's even crazier about not playing McBride and Mitch is that was the closing lineup. Those are the two guys closing out in the fourth quarter of the last game.
When we were getting stops.
Stops. Why? Why not go when you need stops in the third quarter? Now you're just allowing these guys to get back to it, man. It's just a very frustrating, very confusing choice by Tom Thibodeau tonight. We got Mark on the line too. Mark, please unmute your mic. What's going on, Mark?
Hey guys, what's going on? I was kind of going to talk about that third quarter as well, but I have some other points. Well, first of all, shout out to Mitchie. I don't know if you guys realized how he changed his free throw stance, where he puts his his right foot forward now.
I was noticing that
to get a better angle on it. So it's completely different stance, and that's, I think, made a huge difference today, obviously. So shout out to him. Shout out to Hart for playing his heart out. No pun intended. He had a great game. I feel like today, honestly, it was like that third quarter, of course, like Tibbs not subbing anyone in. I thought after that first time out, he was going to change the lineup and change things up because it was going so poorly. But there just wasn't any cohesion. For some reason, Brunson just kept dishing it to Hart, and they were playing two-man basketball for a while there. I don't think Mitch or OG put up a shot or for the longest time there for a long stretch.
Yeah.
And I feel like Brunson, I don't know, I feel like he was frustrated. Like, I don't really see him in that mindset kind of let it get to him, but it kind of felt like it got to him. And I think it was just like the non-calls, especially after he got stepped on a foot after that pull-up three in the corner. Like, you could see he was visibly pissed off at the ref. You know, he's visibly mad at the ref, and he was just like, it seemed like he was playing angry basketball. You know, and generally, I mean, he's good with holding his emotions, but I feel like that also played a part in it. I mean, this game, you know, it's a momentum changer, right? Like if you get a bad call or if there's something going on in the game, it's a bad momentum changer, and then it just shifts. And I feel like they didn't feel like they were in it today. You know, it was very strange to see. And I think it had to do with like kind of with the officiating, and more so like the complaining, really. Like, I don't really see Brunson that like aggressive towards the refs. You know, it kind of felt like a mindset kind of deal.
I think the physicality got to him, man. It was mental. It was mental. The physicality got to him. Give credit to Boston. They won. They won the mental matchup. They won the physical matchup. And you know, between Hart getting split open and Brunson kind of just kind of fighting for his respect. I thought Boston got the best of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like Tibbs, Adam Silver paid Tibbs a little something. It was like, listen, we need more revenue. Bring it back to the Garden where we get more hype. You know, leave everyone out there in the third quarter.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what was interesting was that the first quarter wasn't the whistle wasn't beneficial for Boston at all.
No, it wasn't.
The Knicks had the Celtics in the bonus early. And, you know, I thought that was a great sign. But the third quarter, they really were up against it. But, again, I don't blame the officiating. I never do. I try not to. You got to fight through it. You got to fight through it. And then the Knicks couldn't win the mental battle.
I feel like they let it get to them, right? Like, they kind of – that officiating just – I don't know. They felt frustrated. They didn't feel on their game. And it just didn't feel like the Knicks, which is why I'm really not all that concerned. Like, it's a loss, but it didn't seem like it was – the team that we saw throughout the season. You know,
Yeah.
it seemed like it was a faltering team, like a team that just wasn't in it for some reason. It was just this vibe of like not playing the way they normally do. And I think that all starts with the cap. You know, like when the cap is in that mindset, it
Throws
kinda rubs
everybody off,
on the
man.
rest of the team. You know.
Yeah. I said on the pregame with JD, I said this team goes as cap goes, and it was a flustering type of night for him. And look, again, give credit to the Celtics because Jaylen Brown said, yo, I want him. He took him out of his game.
Yep.
The two back and forth with Brunson getting fouled by Brown and it not getting called, and they wanted, that was when Hart got split open, right? And then Brown got Brunson, and it's just the gamesmanship. But the Knicks just, again, when can they put together a consistent 48-minute effort? You know, Pacers are doing it, right? And if we want to get to that level,
Timberwolves are doing it right now.
Timberwolves are doing it right now.
Yeah, Timberwolves doing it right now.
Yeah. Well, listen, without Steph Curry, you'd expect it, though. Say that again, Mark?
Without Jason Tatum, we would expect it too, right?
Do you think Tibbs is trying to like not really show his full hand? Because
No. Bro, you're in this second round of the playoffs, my man. What do you mean?
Ain't many hands he shows anyways to begin with.
I can't find an explanation for like the choice he made today. It just didn't make sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just really strange.
I mean, knowing Tibbs, it's really not that surprising, though.
Sometimes guys are just, sometimes guys are out of it, man. Players are out of it. Coaches are out of it. There's nothing to hide at this point. You are trying to close out against the reigning champs.
There's nothing left.
They don't have Jason Tatum. You know they're going to come out with all the energy. There's nothing to hide at this point.
Yeah.
If Tibbs decide to hide anything in this game, get out of here, bro. Because this is not the game to be doing that.
Absolutely.
But look, the team has done this the entire season, though. They will show you one night where they're like, oh my God, they are the best thing on a basketball court. I cannot believe what they're doing, especially offensively. Other nights are like, why are we in this game with the Charlotte Hornets where we should just be knocking them out? And I think, at CP, I know you always say, it's 82 games. Why are we worried about the Charlotte Hornets and the San Antonio Spurs?
Yeah.
It's because of the lack of attention to detail and staying focused for 48 minutes. That's why people get upset. That's why people get frustrated, because you know this team can be so much better. And then you watch games like tonight where you're playing with your food, where you should be out there. They don't have Tatum once again, all right? They made a massive story about it. You cannot – there's no way where you're walking around. Any news coverage in any city is talking about it at this point.
Yeah.
You go out there and you got to execute, and you didn't execute tonight. Guys were leaving guys wide open on the three-point line. Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Al Horford, Jaylen Brown. There was one for Jaylen Brown where everyone's literally.
Derek White scored 34 points, bro. Derek White is not an ISO player. Derek White is not a one-on-one player. Derek White is a catch and shoot player. And we let that score 34 with no Jason Tatum.
Yeah, if you let him, he'll do it, though.
And what's crazy is that he went 7 of 13 from downtown.
I'm not surprised,
7 of 13 from downtown. He only took 16 shots.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
13 were from 3.
Not surprised at all.
I'm not surprised either, because he's a good three-point shooter. Look, I had him on the fantasy basketball team. I was like, yo, this guy's killing it. But you don't, like, this just shows you what the defense was doing tonight, that you cannot leave guys wide open and just be watching. The one that bothers me the most, before I let you go.
No, go ahead.
The one that bothers me the most, Jaylen Brown gets it in the right corner, and everybody is just watching. No one running out at all. Everyone was just watching. That bothered the living daylights out of me. Because you got to contest on this, man. Jaylen Brown's diving out of bounds to try to save a basketball, and you're just watching a guy who can knock down practice shot threes. What are we doing here, man?
Yeah.
You know what happened tonight is after the first quarter, they probably felt like, oh, we weathered the storm. They just made 7 threes.
Yeah.
And we somehow came away on top. You know what's going to happen now? We probably just took their best punch. They're going to lay down. They're going to lay down because they know they're not going to beat us now. And then you saw we took a little bit of a lead. We had some separation. And I felt at that moment they likely felt that this is it. They're now going to trend the other way, and they're going to give us the game. They're going to start to make the mistakes because now they're going to start to press the issue. And they forgot that, in a 48-minute game and a desperate team and you're on the road, there's going to be another wave of a run. And when they made the other wave, that's all she wrote.
Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. We got the Holy Trinity of Knicks Fan TV on site here at Slate, the home of the Knicks Fan TV watch party. Salute to Bleacher Report for producing all of this, man. It looks spectacular. I'm looking at the preview monitor right here, and everybody's looking crispy in 4K despite the loss, man. But shout out to Bleacher Report for powering us up. The #1 show for the fans, by the fans, live and in 4K. Shout out to our franchise channel members. I salute to you guys. All my franchise channel members, throw a salute in the chat. Armand Dutta, I see you. Shout out to Anthony Pepin. First watch party, he says, was fire despite the loss. Anthony, appreciate you for coming through. I don't know if we got a chance to connect, but we definitely appreciate you for coming through. Shout out to Cynthia, longtime KFTV Day One. Dr. D-Roy Bramwell, salute to you, D-Roy. Big up to the brethren. AC Reyes Chronicles, salute to you, AC Reyes. Abdul, salute to our left coast, west coast Knicks fam. Abdul leading that up. First Lady of Sports, she heads up the South, the Miami crew. Shout out to KFTV 305 crew. First Lady of Sports and my guy Steven Gomez leading that up. Salute to them. Flyboy Kev in here. OKG Costa, salute. Coach Rubens, we in here. Christopher Blake, always in here, never misses a show. Mike Hill Jr., salute. Patrice, we appreciate you. A-level, Mr. Duns. Mr. Duns, we know you were always in here. Salute, man. Oh, Jalen, shout out to KFTV. Jalen was here.
He was here.
Yeah, Jalen was here. Shout out to Jalen, man. Shout out to Ari. He says, I can't believe it. Papa Giorgio, we appreciate you, man. Flo, 174. Ty Busy, we see you. Talento, always in here. Salute to the franchise channel members. Salute to the family, man. We are in here heavy. A-level, I see you. Make sure I don't miss nobody. Jamaica Queen, salute. G Costa, we got you. Cool B, we got you. Okay, I think I got everybody. Nick, salute. Jay, salute. We got everybody. All right. Shout out to Tricks of Barber, $10 super chat. Says Tibbs is goofy for putting Mitch in with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Yeah, I didn't like Tibbs' rotations there in the third. The ball movement was stagnant.
There wasn't one.
There wasn't one. There wasn't one. There was no ball movement. You had your two best players getting into foul trouble, and things were just – Celtics had all the momentum on their side. We needed Mitchie to calm all that Kornet momentum down. Mitchie was the only one to stop it because Towns wasn't doing nothing. You needed Mitchie in there to just be like, yo, what are you doing? This is my court. But he didn't do it. I didn't like that at all. I'm with Tricks the Barber on that. Shout out to Tricks for the $10 super chat.
All I think about is right now seeing Luke Kornet. It just reminds me of when Mitch's block party was still a thing. And they had to, I think episode 1 or episode 2 was Luke Kornet with Mitchell Robinson. I'm like, this is the corniest, not corniest, but
yo, Boston turned Kornet into a monster, man.
What happened?
They turned him into a
monster.
monster.
Who is this guy?
Bro. Hey, shout out to him, you know, and in a league where some guys don't have that longevity, you know, Kornet was a second-round pick.
You know what really bothered me? They throw him an alley-oop, and he does a reverse dunk, and I was like, all right, man.
Oh, my God.
I was like, all right.
Reverse dunk.
I was like, all right, man.
Bro, the reverse dunk was crazy, bro.
I was like, all right, man. Just write this up. Go home. We're done.
Bro, once the reverse dunk happened, I said, oh, nah, it's over it.
No.
It's over it. It's over it. It's over it.
We made a 7-foot plumber look
Bro,
like Julius Erving.
He looked like, you know when JR used to catch some reverse dunk alleys?
Yes.
Oh, my God. When Luke Kornet caught that, I said, all right, that's it. Give me another drink. I need another drink to pull my sorrows away. I couldn't take it, bro.
And I hate, you know, it's listen, I don't think Game 6 is going to be a walk in the park either.
Oh, no.
Because what you've done tonight
Bro, we've been down by 20 in every game. Why would it?
You've given now these role players like a Kornet confidence in life. And when you do that to role players that also play hard, them going on the road is not – they're not going to be intimidated. Now, they may make certain decisions being on the road that may be to your advantage. But from a strictly grit, hustle, working hard, work ethic, and speed, That's all going to be there for a few of these Celtics role players because we allowed them to gain that tonight. You saw the emotion. Even Luke Kornet was talking to the crowd.
Yeah,
like, he was talking
he
trash
played
out
into
there.
it.
So it's like you've given these players confidence. That's going to make Game 6 even more difficult now because you have a team that is, bro, they believe.
Bro, the reverse dunk, I said, oh, my God. I said, bro, that was the icing on the cake in terms of belief, momentum, everything. That was it. Go home. Tibbs, clear the bench. Kornet is catching reverse alley-oops and killing y'all right now.
Bro, and what pisses me off is Game 6, you know it's just going to be another close game, and then maybe in the end they pull out the victory. Maybe in the last 5 minutes. It's like, can we please play 48 minutes? Can we please act like some of these other teams in the playoffs? I'm seeing one blowout every night. Can we be a part of that on the winning end? Please. Please, can we do that? Game 6 is the perfect moment at home.
At home.
To finally put your first complete game.
Shout out to Michael White, our franchise channel member Michael White. Salute to the OG. Hopefully he's up right now, not watching, Matlock reruns. $10 super chat. He says we lost because the Celtics doubled off Hart. Also, we didn't match double bigs.
Match double bigs.
Yeah.
With double, Al Horford and Kornet. Is that the double big?
I didn't think that was an issue. And Hart was hitting his threes off the doubles.
He was. And the thing is that he just stopped doing it in the second half. He was like, oh, let me pump fake again. I'm like, here we go. We're going to now watch this guy pump fake, drive into the lane, and then look, we gave Luke Kornet another block. There you go. And dude, I really don't get the shot selection sometimes, especially when you had it going. You just had it going. You were knocking down every wide open three. I was like, wow, the confidence is through the roof.
Yeah.
And then it all got shattered after you got into a little tizzy with Jaylen Brown? What happened?
Crazy, man. Rich Harris, $5 super chat says, I've never seen a coach who makes winning so hard for his own team the way Tibbs does. It's incredible.
He and the players make it hard. All right?
Yeah, you called it.
The players also make it hard. We cannot forget about the players. Tibbs is not the one watching guys shoot wide open threes.
Yeah.
They got to go out there and go chase.
You got to go get it, man.
All right?
Lock in.
They're not the ones not rotating. They got to go do it.
Shout out to our new franchise channel members, FP4, Gene Bivens. Shout out to Mark. And, man, salute to everybody in the chat. All right, let's get to some more callers. JBK to Htown. I'll mute your mic. JBK to Htown.
Yo, fellas, you hear me?
Loud and clear. Hurry up. Rapid fire. Let's go.
All right, definitely. Appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah.
Yo, so first thing, I don't know. I mean, they got to win this series, right? Like, you about to play the Pacers in the next round. You get to actually have home court advantage in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I feel like they have to win this match. It's like the dream scenario to be the third team, hosting the Eastern Conference Finals, first off. Secondly, is it just me because I'm a little unconventional in thinking, but I would like to see somebody like a Delon Wright playing that can actually take Jalen Brunson off the ball, because too many times when he's on the ball, he has the ball, he's playing at the top of the key where the defense is focused in on him. But if you take him off the ball, have him involved in pin downs, have him involved off the ball, catching and shooting or catching and making a decision, then I feel like that. I mean, just for like at least 8 minutes a game, I feel like that could really do something.
Yeah.
And then I just got a quick question for y'all. Hypothetically speaking, let's just say worst case scenario, the Knicks lose this series. Is Tibbs gone? And that's all I got for y'all. Hope y'all have a great night.
The Tibbs thing, man, I'm not even talking about that. The Knicks are up 3-2 in the series, man. They got a chance to win the series. All that Tibbs, so wait till the offseason, let the offseason take care of itself. But in terms of Delon Wright, and playing Brunson off ball, I think, look, with McCall out there, with Deuce out there, with Cat out there, I think we got enough to get Brunson going off ball. The Knicks have to move the ball and move themselves. They went into their 2-minute prevent offense in the third quarter. Come on, man. We can't do that, man. They know better than that. They play better than that. Can't do it.
Attention to detail, as I come back to, man. That's really what it just comes down to.
Yeah.
And they got to move the rock. The thing that I haven't really seen much of this series either is, how we used to see Cat working the high post and finding guys cutting. What happened to that?
Right.
And once again, I'll go back to the fact that they don't have Htown. They don't have another wing that has been discussed so much during this postseason, where they've put a wing on Towns to make him think twice because of the reach, wingspan, and a wing's capability of recovering. They don't have that right now. If you're not going to have that, now you have the chance to run the pick and roll. The Celtics play good defense, but it's not as physical as what the Pistons were running. So try the pick and pop, try the pick and roll, try that. And I feel like that will just open some of that offense that we need, because if you got to start guarding Towns.
They still don't do that with these two guys.
They still don't, man.
Bro.
And it's like, I get that it didn't work after teams figured it out, but now's a chance. Try it. See what works, man. Act like you're in the position to close these guys out, and you got to feel desperate.
Facts.
You got to feel desperate.
Facts.
You are up 3-1 today, and you felt there was no desperation.
Yeah.
You got to feel desperate in these moments.
True indeed, man. We're going to get to some of the key stats of the night. Let's get to the Knicks Fix. Knicks Fix, again, I'll mute your mic. Go ahead.
What's up, fellas? What's going on, man?
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, man. So I'll be rapid fire. So we went into that third quarter. We were tied 59-all. But as soon as the refs put 5 fouls on JB in one quarter, I knew this game was done, man. I don't normally blame the refs, but some of these fouls are crazy.
Nah, bro, the brown foul was on JB, and the white foul, I would have put it on JB too, man. He wasn't smart, bro. He was not smart tonight, man. He wasn't smart, bro.
So was the whole team, though. Cat picked up crazy, stupid fouls at the beginning.
Yeah, but that's Cat's MO.
Right, but you know what it comes down to, man? I'm gonna leave it with this. But the Knicks, whenever they're up 3-1, they don't have the urgency, right? Last year, Game 5 against Philly, they didn't close. This year against the Pistons, they didn't close, and then now Game 5 against the Celtics. I think we close, man. We're gonna come with urgency in the next game, but it's just a bummy night, man. Stay up, fellas.
Yeah, stay up, man. Knicks Fix on the Discord, man. Let's get to some of the key stats of the night. Look, it was the three-pointers for me, man. I mean, Celtics shot 52% from the field. They shot 35. The Knicks shot 35% from the field, but Celtics shooting 44% from three, shot 49 threes and made 22. Knicks shot 30 threes and made 12. So you had 36 to 66. The Knicks lost the three-point battle by 30 points. Free throws, 80% from the stripe for the Knicks, 65 for the Celtics. Knicks lost the rebounding battle by 4, 44 to 40. Assists, obviously, with the Celtics hitting so many threes, they won the assist battle 27 to 17. Turnovers wasn't as terrible. Both teams low, 9 for the Celtics, 11 for the Knicks. Knicks giving up 12 points off of those turnovers. Celtics giving up 11 to the Knicks. Fast break points, just 4.
Not good enough.
Just 4.
Not good enough.
Just 4. And points in the paint, they lost points in the paint. 26 points in the paint. When the big boat, 26 points in the paint. And the Celtics had 36. Your thoughts, man?
The fast break points is not good enough. Every Celtic analyst that I brought on for the game preview, they've talked about Knicks have to force the Celtics to turn over the ball and get out in transition and get easy buckets. They didn't do that tonight. Not enough of it. You got to do that. And then points in the paint. I mean, I would expect more if Brunson was able to play, if Cat was in foul trouble. So I could say yes, it kind of checks. It does check out because those two guys were in trouble tonight. But the big thing for me is the fast break points, man. It's got to be
4.
better than 4. It's got to be better than 4. You're not going to beat this Celtics team just strictly in the half court. They executed well in the half court. We struggle a bit, as we see, just because we only have one guy that can initiate. I know we have Bridges, who has shown in games, especially this postseason, that he's more than capable of creating his own shot and somewhat doing a little bit of distribution for his teammates. but it's really just Jalen Brunson. And so if you're going to have to rely on Jalen Brunson to do most of those things, it's going to be a little tough to work the half court consistently since you already know who has to start with. And then if you're just going to be iso ball and freeze these guys out, there's not going to be a rhythm either.
I'm looking at their 27 assists. It's a high assist mark. We all know how, the Knicks record, they're basically unbeatable when they get to 30. And the Celtics got to 27 without Tatum, which signals to you with, the way that they're looking to play now, moving forward with all their shooters. And that led to the 49 attempts from threes. And that's 19 more threes than the Knicks. So now that you're looking into Game 6, those are the two areas that I'm looking at for the Celtics is their assists with moving the basketball and their three-point attempts versus us and how effective they're going to be from the Chattery stripe, from the three-point line.
Yeah, no question about it, man. For me, it was that obviously the threes. But, yeah, points in the paint, man. Like, again, Big Bodega, where are you? And Cap, where are you in feeding this guy early? I did not like the floor game tonight by the Knicks Big Two. And they've got to be better. You're the guys. You're the pace setters. Get these guys going. Get Bodega established in the paint. Bodega, get your ass in the low block. Get out of the three-point line. Get to the low block. You're not Carmelo. Get to the low block and dominate these guys. There's not a single player on the Celtics team that can check Karl Anthony Towns in the low block if he chooses to put the work in. They've got to be better, man. They got very, very lazy, especially in that second half. And,
I see what the Knicks chick be saying. You pretty tight tonight, man.
Bro, I was tight for bro. I'm always tight, man. I'm not. Listen. Yo, listen, man. I love how everybody's out there on 7th Avenue, outside the Garden. As I've always said, for the younger generation, this is a great time to celebrate, do all of that. I'm focused, man. And when I did my bit with Fox 5, my guy was talking about, all the trauma that the Knicks fans have gone through. He's speaking to me. Straight to me. Yeah, it's like me speaking to my therapist. Like, yo, talking about all the times. I'm talking about 94, 95, 99, all of that. So that's why I'm like, yo, one game at a time. Because we have not seen this team put together the 48 minutes that they're capable of. Cap has talked about it. We've seen it. I went there Game 3. They got washed. Game 4, they were fantastic. Game 5, they were terrible again. What's it gonna be for Game 6?
Yeah, you're this far. You're this far in the playoffs. I think Game 6. All right, enough is enough.
Enough is enough,
From
man.
this point forward, stop playing around. We've gone. It went 6 in the first round. Now we're into Game 6 in the second round, and I know we're talking about Game 6, but I don't know if anyone noticed, we don't have home court. So you better not let this go to 7.
Facts.
Because at that point, forget about
all bets are off.
All
bro.
bets are off, and now your role players are at home where they play more comfortable. So this is it. This is the Knicks Game 7 right here, in my opinion. They got to win this game.
See everyone just growing more grays in their beard right now after this conversation.
Bro, my right side, I'm looking like my right side. I'm like, wait, it's a little bit.
Welcome to the club, fellas.
What's going on, man?
Welcome to the club, baby.
That
This
game.
is what sports will do to you, man.
The youngins in the chat are like, CP's a little too tight, man. But they don't know, man. This is their first time.
Yeah,
This is what
because
it'll do.
here's the thing. When you're in your 20s, you're like, I got enough time.
Yeah.
Look, I'm
They
turning
don't feel the
36 this
pressure.
year. I'm like, hey, man,
Listen, man.
I have not seen a lot.
Bro.
Yeah, bro.
Keep in mind, I was 5 when they went and played Houston in the NBA Finals. I was 5, all right? So I don't really remember much from there. 99 was my time.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh.
They don't know about LeVar Postel.
They don't know about
those
it.
days,
They don't know
man.
about it, man. They don't know about it. So yeah, that it's just frustrating. That's all. It's very frustrating because I saw a good first half. We saw Mitchie dominating, and then they just let it all go in the second
Now,
half.
if they
But
win
look,
Game 6, it'll be fun at home, though.
always.
If they do that,
Yeah.
Here's the thing I'll say about Game
Yeah.
6. Brunson fouled out. He never fouls out.
It's unusual,
Very unusual.
uncharacteristic.
And he doesn't have bad back-to-back games.
Never. Never,
all right?
never.
So, with that being said, I know he will come out ready for Game 6.
He's going to be pissed.
Because he's going to be aggravated. That man's going to be aggy, and that's going to be – the focus is going to be like, we are doing this now.
100%. 100%, man.
Does everybody else follow suit, though? I know Brunch will be ready. Will everybody else be ready?
I think so. I certainly hope so.
Mitchie was ready. I mean, this guy understood the assignment. This man hit all his free throws.
Mitchie's been about that action since the beginning, and the squad let him down, man.
He could have had – dude, I was waiting for this. If the Knicks won tonight, Mitchie, I was ready to listen to Mitchie be like,
I'm knocking those down.
I'm knocking them down.
Bro, I had that I'm knocking him down soundbite in my head the whole time.
Mitch is so funny because when he made his fourth and he's coming down the court, he's like,
you saw that, right?
I'm like, oh, now you think you Allen Houston for the free throw line.
Bro,
like,
this was the night,
just
man.
hilarious, bro. It's like all of a sudden he's like, nah.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man? Stop working.
things down.
That's why I was tight, man. We needed to win for Mitchie tonight, man. 100%. Shout out to my guy Elite that was in the building.
Shout out
Rhyme
to
Animal,
Elite.
Chuck D pulled up tonight. And salute to everybody in the chat once again. All right, let's get to some more calls before we wrap. Let's go to Lefty to Heart. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Lefty.
What's up, man? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I got my main point of the night is I love JB, man. I love when he get going, but I thought he should have had Bridges, OG, and Cat involved early.
Yes.
Without their offense, I think we be nothing without them. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he should get them going in the first quarter, second quarter, and the third quarter. He start turning it up. But if they're not involved in the offense, we're gonna get smoked. And then another thing is Baldy. Baldy was killing us from three, and he was killing us from three the last game. And this game, he came out killing us again. So I'm like, who's guarding Baldy? You know, Derek White.
You gotta run him off the three-point line, man.
That's right. So, yeah. So I'm like, yo, why just get the 3-point line? Where that is. And then Mitch, he was like the most brightest spot for us tonight. Him and Josh Hart. You know, as far as Josh Hart shot making from the three, he was looking good, and Mitchie was definitely doing what he was supposed to do on the defense. But as far as Cat, he looking soft, or he just wasn't offense enough. Bridges was off, and OG was definitely off. I think that was the main thing of why we lost tonight. If you had at least 20 from OG and 20 from Bridges, it would be a different ball game. But they was off. And Brunson, I don't know. He got to try to get them going. He's got to try to get them going.
He's
early.
a point guard.
In the second half, he turned it up. You already know fourth quarter Brunson. You already know fourth quarter Brunson, but. You know, once he got in foul trouble, Cat always got in foul trouble. Once he got in foul trouble too, it was like that was the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
But I think we should come out stronger next game. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about it. You know, we're gonna be back home. We're gonna have the fans going crazy for everybody. So yeah, Game 6, we gotta take that.
Yeah. All right, man. Salute to you. Salute to you. Shout out to First Lady of Sports. $10 Super Chat says the entire season the Knicks have never played a two-man game with Brunson and Cat in the pick and roll, because I'm going to continue to say it. Brunson has an issue with giving Cat the ball. Well, I don't know, man. They gotta continue to work together. For some reason, it's just not as potent as it should be, you know.
Looked great at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, certainly did.
You know, in Fred Katz's article, was around December time, where they had one of the Martin brothers, and he talked about how, I forget which Martin it was, tired at this point, but it's like he guarded Towns in that matchup, and then it was like, oh, the pick and roll doesn't work, and so teams were able to use that film and just stop that pick and roll, and so that's why you don't really see that two-man game that much since then, and that's why if you look at the advanced stats and you look at the offensive rating, it dropped from January because they were not able to get that pick and roll going. That's why you didn't see a lot of cutting.
Yeah.
And why it's changed and why it now looks like a struggle. So, look, this is a team that offensively, it is like, man, I don't even know what the right analogy is at this point. It is, I guess, molasses is the right, because it is slow, man.
Yeah.
It is. You know what it is? It's like watching gears grind. That's what it is. Just trying to get an offensive bucket. Because they go through like one action, doesn't work, and then it's like it's got to be a little bit of chaos before they get an actual shot up. And it just has to be a little different, man. I know that's a lot to ask, during the middle of a postseason run. But next season, there's got to be a little bit more creativity with the guys that are on this roster.
Got to. Shout out to Mitch. Shout out to Deuce. I thought Deuce had a good stretch as well. But all for naught. Anthony Vasquez, $5 super chat. We appreciate you, Anthony. He says, Anthony on the check-in, unacceptable effort tonight. Madison Square Garden will win Game 6. It will be unbelievable in that arena Friday night. Let's go, Knicks. Let's go, man. Well, listen, man, if you can't get into the Garden, we know the prices are top-notch. You can be back here with us at Slate. We will be here on Friday night for another watch party, weekend watch party, man. Shout out to Pat's Nation. Funny. His name is Pat's Nation. He's a franchise channel member. And he says his comments, go New York, go New York, go. We got this.
So CK and I I saw Pat's Nation in one of the game previews.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is strange. I don't know what's going on here. Then he became a franchise channel member in Game 3.
Wow.
And I'm like, hold on. Because CK and I were both looking at this thing like, this is strange. What's happening here?
Yeah.
And then I was like, is this an op?
Wow.
Is he an op? Or, as I said on the show and people got a little angry with me, CP, you know how Connecticut is.
Yes. It's split.
It's split.
It's all over the map.
You got Yankee fans that are Patriot fans,
yeah.
that are Celtics fans, or you got Giants fans that are Red Sox fans, and I'm like,
yeah.
So maybe that's where he's living.
Maybe, man. All right. Well, shout out to Pat's Nation. He's probably on that border. He's on the cusp.
On the cusp.
Yeah.
It just hurts for me as a Jets fan to say that name.
Yeah, he should have been a Giants fan. It would have been better for you. Yeah. Let's go. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. AK on the Discord, get on, meet your mic. AK, let's go.
Justin Fields about to be the truth. Don't worry.
AK, how you feel?
Good. You boys can hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man. We good.
Wanted to check in with you boys, checking in from Australia, international gang.
Mm-hmm.
We blowing it up. We blowing it up. Everyone's out here seeing more Jalen Brunson jerseys, which is good to see.
Nice. Yo, Australia is Knicks Nation out there, man.
Holding it down, always. And, wanted to join the franchise, you know what I mean? Become
Yes.
a channel member in the playoffs, wanted to. Because, I watch you guys genuinely more than anything. Literally, the Knicks this whole season has been, all this hype and everything. And, we get to the playoffs and it's the same issues, you know what I mean? The same issues that have been plaguing us this whole season. And, honestly, Mikal starts off hot. It's, free-flowing offense at the start, and then it just gets stagnant. And there's no variation. There's no movement. There's no movement. And it's okay, you've got Jalen Brunson and you've got Karl Anthony Towns. The whole reason of getting them was to mimic what, Jamal Murray and Jokic are doing. The whole pick and roll, high pick and roll, pick and fade. And then it's Cat can operate. He's a good passer. He can operate from, top of the key from the three-point line, make the extra pass. There's so many options, but for a team that has so many options, Jeff T kind of alluded to it in his podcast. He was like, Tibbs just really lets you play. There's no plays. There's no set plays. There's no, structure to it. It's kind of just make the right play, make the right read. And it's you kind of have to have some kind of a playbook to, fully utilize the team that we've got. And we're not doing that. And, the fact that they literally don't have Tatum anymore. That's the part that's just spinning me out. They don't have Tatum. They don't have, he scored 42 points and we literally beat them. We designed this team to have two overpowered wings, both defensively and can create a bit of offense to beat that team. That team doesn't have that anymore. We're the team that has that now.
Yeah.
We're full strength. There's literally no excuse.
They
don't have their best player and, we're still getting blown out by 30. So, and then you got to see, Portnoy with that stupid look on his face when, Brunson gets fouled out because he's sitting courtside like an idiot. It's we got to win these games. I'm 25 and I've literally already got a gray hair. Purely from the Knicks. I'm not kidding.
You just getting started, bro. You just getting started, Anthony, man.
We're 1 win away, like literally 1 win away.
It says he's
Like, come on.
25.
What
So
the
what
He
was-
just
so
started
we
making the
got this.
playoffs when he was, what, 19? Like, what's the run? Like 4 out of 6,
His
5 out of 6?
earliest recollection was Carmelo days. Come on, Anthony, man.
It's like,
He already knows what's
we
to
gotta
get a
win.
star
We
on
gotta
your.
win.
He
Knicks
knows
in
what's to get a
6. It sounds
superstar
better
during your
anyway.
teenage years,
Gotta
man.
close the garden.
Hang in there, bro. I feel you, man. Big up to Australia, though, man. They are heavy
Appreciate you.
with Knicks Nation, heavy with KFTV. Shout out to Australia, man. Anthony, we appreciate you, bro.
Oh man, we had to
Appreciate
deal
you,
with.
appreciate you.
We had to deal with Maurice Taylor and Kelvin
Yeah.
Cato.
He's a young whippersnapper. He's like, come on, man.
His prime is Mello and
Yeah,
Shumpert
yeah.
and Jason Kidd and
All he had to do
Kenyon
was-
Martin and Marcus
That's
Camby
cool.
coming back. Like,
That's
What
cool.
was it? Struggle for what? 7 years?
Yeah.
Try watching Eddie Curry.
that's his prime,
Yeah.
bro.
He wasn't there when East City was running things. Was making an all-star campaign for half a season.
Stevie franchise.
Stevie franchise at Marbury, the new Rolls-Royce backcourt. Come on, Anthony, lock in, man. Lock in. These youngsters, man, they're entitled,
Bro,
just
he's
like they are.
25, and
Yeah.
he's gotten Mello and Brunson.
Got Melo and Brunson.
You know how long it took for us to be like, yo,
Yeah,
can we get a top 50, top 10 player?
yeah. Took 20 years.
Bro,
I
I
was
was
in 2 of
It
those.
took us 20 years to get to Melo and
I
Brunson.
was hyped for just some competency with Raymond Felton and Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah. Gen Z struggle, TM, right. Gen Z struggle, man.
That's that it fits with the
Yeah.
with the mentality today.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, couple more before we wrap, man. We here at Slate. We'll be back here on Friday. Shout out to Bleach Report for powering the machine. Anthony, go ahead on the Discord. Anthony, go ahead.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's up? How you
JD,
feeling?
Alex. CP, it's good to see y'all together, man. That's Slate, dude.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro.
Word up. All right. I ain't gonna lie, guys. I kind of expected this tonight, man. I had this feeling in my gut ever since the news came out with Jason that he tore his Achilles, and I didn't think missing JT would be felt tonight. I know Boston was going to be on that emotional high. TD Garden was going to be rocking. We were going to come out like, that's that third quarter, that second half was unacceptable all around, right? Them missing Jason Tatum is going to be felt in Game 6, bro. And that's where I think. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you good. We with you.
Yeah, I think that's where missing that level of talent in JT, they'll feel that at Madison Square Garden. When the stakes are the highest, the Knicks are gonna be through the roof. I mean, again, tonight we just didn't have it, bro. All around. Yeah, we came out okay. First half was decent, but that second half, we were pretty much dead, right? Dead in the water. Madison Square Garden, like I just said in the super chat, will be rocking. This is the biggest game at Madison Square Garden since, 25 years. And the Knicks, we're going to get it done, guys. So let's just chill. Let's relax. Take a chill pill Friday night. Let's take care of business. We will. Knicks in 6. And on to the Pacers. So let's go, guys.
Anthony, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, hopefully we can lock it up at the Garden. Okay, 2 more callers. Rare Edition. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Rare Edition.
Yo, I'm live?
Yeah, live. How you feeling?
Yeah, good, man. I wish I was out there tonight with you guys at Slate, man.
Yeah.
Giving you guys some good luck. If I was out there today and we had a win, we would have been flipping the manhole covers off 6th Avenue, man. But unfortunately, we didn't get the win. And just to note, the caller from Australia, we know that Jalen Brunson, it's crazy because, Jalen Brunson has been on a tear with the 30-point games.
Yeah.
And he's one more game behind Patrick Ewing.
Right.
Which to me it's amazing because Patrick has been playing in the playoffs like when I was watching for like 15 years. But Jalen Brunson has been in the team for a couple years? and it's crazy. It's just it's like a different. He's a different kind of caliber of player. We're blessed to have him on the squad, man. And just taking some positives, I guess, from today's loss is that it's not really just a loss. It's not a huge setback. We still got another game out there to play on Friday. This is feedback. You know, we got to counter what Boston is doing to us. They exposed us tonight, and then we just got to bring it back to them. You know, and also this is the first time the group is together. If you really think about it, this is a group that is starting to gel under the playoff pressure. You know, losses like this, just part of the building something tangible for the future. You know, make a championship caliber team, successful hopefully for this team. So that's all I really got to say. Knicks in 6. Let's do this, baby.
Okay, Radiation, appreciate you. STG Nick, heading on, unmute your mic, close us out. STG.
What's up, guys? Yeah, that was definitely a tough loss for sure. I had a little hope there in the first half. It went up by 9, and then the game definitely started to shift middle of the way through the second quarter. Celtics cut it down. I thought we were going to call a timeout, but then they were dribbling up the ball, and they called like a backcourt violation. I didn't like that. They needed to call a timeout to stop the bleeding. And then going to halftime tied. And then I don't know if we didn't do the layup lines that McKellen campaign had been doing or what, because they came out flat in the second half. Haven't really seen a second half like that since the Detroit series. This whole Celtics series has been turning up in the second half, not letting it down in the second half. So that was definitely a little disappointing to see. And then, very uncharacteristic fouls from Brunson, all 5 in that third quarter alone. And then silly fouls from Towns. And then lackluster play from the 2 wings. I definitely think all that stuff you can clean up and then hopefully get it done, close it out on your home floor on Friday, and then get ready for the next round. But you cannot take this team lightly at all. And a guy like Derek White, he started the game like 4 for 4, 5 for 5 from 3. Like, you know what he's going to do. He's not going to create shots for himself for the most part. He's catch and shoot, so you got to take that away. That's what he does. So clean up on that, and then hopefully we can close this out on Friday.
Yeah, there you go, man. Shout out to STG Nick. Were you there, or are you still on the line? Were you there?
No, I wasn't there, and I'm kind of glad I wasn't there. I didn't miss out on much.
Yeah.
But I'll be there on Friday, though.
Okay, all right. You're going to be in the building on Friday. All right, no doubt. There you go, man. Shout out to STG Nick on the Discord. Okay. All right, so, listen, man, if the Knicks can wrap up on Friday, as SCG says, then Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals will be Wednesday on May 21st. Friday, Sunday. So you're going every other day. Wednesday, 5:21. Friday, 5:23. Sunday, 5:25. And so there you go. Shout out to STG Nick. And, hey, if the Knicks can ever make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, then that's a schedule that they will be looking at. Hey, JD and Al, any other closing thoughts as we wrap up from Slate here? We had a great night. Once again, shout out to Bleacher Report on the production, man. I thought the production was fantastic. Shout out to Fox 5. They were here earlier. We did our bits here, and shout out to everybody that came through to Slate. We had a rocking crowd tonight. The Knicks just didn't deliver. We did our part. Knicks just didn't do their part, man.
Everything else was perfect tonight.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, shout out to the Bleacher Report, the staff, the team, the production team, behind the scenes for doing an outstanding job, giving the Knicks fans a great experience with the production and doing the pre and post game. And then, as you mentioned, the fans, Chuck D, always an honor to be able to share an experience with Chuck D. And that's what makes it disappointing, is everything worked out perfectly. The turnout, the games, everything, other than the freaking team decided not to show up tonight. So tomorrow, all of us here at KFTV, I'm sure the fans as well, we'll reshift our energy and we'll get ready for Game 6 as if we're playing as well. But for tonight, it's a big disappointment.
Yeah, it's a disappointment. Wish they did it tonight, man. It would have been a special night. Now I got to go find a guest for a game preview.
Who wants to
loving
talk
those?
for the Boston side? Who we gonna
You're
go
loving
with?
those?
Who we gonna go with our game of the week, man?
Man, they couldn't give me a break.
Call Noah.
Call Noah.
No, and the funny thing is with those previews is like you're doing Game 6. You might as well have the guest interview you.
Yeah, might as well. Hey, man, ask me all the questions. Ask me how I'm feeling tonight.
Right? Because he's like, we're playing with house money. You want me to give you a show? Like, he's gonna ask you all the questions. So, yeah, I'm sure it's not gonna be a fun one.
No, it's not. And maybe what I need to do, JD, is bring on a Knicks fan to interview me this time. Maybe that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
CP,
Like,
you heard?
Scrap that.
Scrap bringing on a Celtics guest. Let me get a Knicks guest. Ask me, talk to me.
Because we're going to do a preview. Might as well have the other guy ask him the
Yeah,
question.
right.
A preview
That's
with
right.
you.
That's right. That's right. Either way, man, salute to all the callers. Salute to everybody, all of our guests that came on tonight's show. And once again, salute to Bleacher Report. Thank you to Slate. And thanks for everybody for watching. All franchise channel members, thank you for holding us down. Let's finish wrapping up the Super Chats. Did we get to Pops the Legend? $5 Super Chats is not a great day for Tibbs and Knicks, but a pleasure seeing Knicks Fan TV live. Much love. Maybe Knicks will decide to bring their game for Game 6. Shout out to Pops the Legend. Shout out to Santana. Said a confident Mitch will be an advantage moving forward. They will not outgrid us in NYC. Shout out to CL Kenrick. NY2PA says, where's the watch party Friday? Right here at Slate. Right here at Slate. We got Michael White. We got Mitch Harris. Trickster Barber. Shout out to Saye Oluwole. Says OG is too inconsistent for 212 mil. They got to give him the ball, man. They got to give him the ball in rhythm. But shout out to the Celtics. Look, you close off his airspace, and it becomes a much trickier proposition. Shout out to Omega Rex 73. Says, how do we go from 64 points in the paint in Game 4 to 26 tonight? Not enough ball movement, and the Celtics' great defense. Knicks got to do better, and Karl Anthony Towns has to help a lot more. He was a no-show tonight. I don't care what he had on the stat sheet. He let his team down tonight, and it was an abysmal performance by the Big Bodega. Lord Steven Stone, franchise channel member, says we have to win the next game. I know we can do it. $2 Super Chat. Salute to him. And shout out to the Rhyme Animal Chuck D. $5 Super Chat says Celtics still got Jimmy Butler memory scars, so they don't go easy. Yeah, hey, they went down 3-0, 3-1 last time. Came back, lost. They don't quit. And I like the fact that they punched the Knicks in the mouth. Maybe this is the turnaround where they can finally string together some consistent 48-minute games. But either way, man, that'll do it. Knicks didn't get the job done, but KFTV certainly did. Tune in tomorrow for Game of the Week preview. And also on Friday, we'll be back here at Slate. Get your tickets, KFTVWatch.com. Shout out to Bleacher Report once again. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.
Forever infinite.